Hey guys, Martial Arts Militia here. My name is Matthew, and today's video is going to be a range report on the Smith & Wesson Model 10-7. So I got the Smith & Wesson Model 10 a long time ago, many years ago, and I never shot it, and I severely regret it because it shot really well today. I don't know why I didn't shoot it sooner. This is the -7 model, so it's an old one. Smith & Wesson, I guess they do make this now, but it's been re-released, so it has that terrible internal lock, and who knows what else they did with it, but this is an old one, a vintage one. So in preparation for this training, for this range report, I severely limited my training. So I know I've had problems before where I would train too much and then it would affect my marksmanship performance. So my training has been standardized to about Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Tuesday is going to be like the martial arts isoplex method 1 and then a 5K run. And then Thursday is martial arts isoplex 2 and another 5K run. And Saturday is a martial arts isoplex 3 method and then a 5K run. And then on Sunday, I just do rucking. So I put on the Go Ruck. You guys have seen this before, the Go Ruck. I put this one on. I put a 30-pound plate in there, and then I just walk for 3 miles. 15 minutes is about the standard, Army standard for 1 mile. But I have gotten slower. I've gotten slower. I used to do 14:30, then I stuck with a 30-pound plate, then it just got higher, 14:50, 15:05 was the last one, 15:50 was the last one. It's getting really bad, but it's okay. I mean, I think I like the 5K because I think I might run a 5K here soon, and I'm thinking about marathons and half marathons. I don't know. I think crazy things, but so for this week when I went to the range, I knew that I was going to lose the Saturday training, obviously, because that's when I shoot the range. The Thursday training I pushed back to Wednesday, that way I didn't lose that training, but then of course that meant that I trained Tuesday and Wednesday at the same time. And the 5K times for that were like 8:30, so it's 3 miles, right? Yeah, for 5K is like 3.1 miles. So it's like 8:30 for the first mile, for the mile average for Tuesday, and then on Wednesday it went up to like 8:50. It's only 20 seconds slower. That's pretty good. And I still trained on Tuesday and I still trained on Sunday. So I really seriously took time to control myself, relax, don't exercise, and maybe it helped and gave a pretty good performance today. Now, for this range report, I brought 168 rounds of Federal American Eagle, 158 grain, 38 special, lead round nose. That's kind of the old cop bullet back then for 38 special, the lead round nose. I also bought the Colt Official Police, which you guys have seen this gun before in other videos, just in case, you know, the Smith goes down, which really hasn't happened a lot. I mean, I know that with the AP5M, that one went down, so that's why I was lucky to have the CZP07 with me. So that's why I have a tendency to bring 2 guns in case one goes down. But I didn't need it. I didn't need it because the Smith & Wesson did pretty damn good. Now I shot the target at 7 yards, so your typical, you know, combat range type of a thing, and they were all double action. I didn't shoot 1 round in single action. It was all double action, so that was good. Now I want to do a quick note on the speed loaders. I have 2 kinds for the Model 10. I don't know if they work for Colt. I know they made different speed loaders for Colt and Smith, but just for Smith here, we have the HKS Model 10, so your typical knob turn, and this is Safari Land, which it doesn't say the model. It might be K2C, I'm not 100% sure, but again, it's another kind of a 6-shot speed loader. So, just to kind of show you guys what the dealio is. The HKS is a classic. Most people that grew up on revolvers have this. You know, they trained on it. You know, very simple system, and honestly, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So you put all of your snap caps in here, or real bullets at the range, you turn the knob and it's locked, okay? It's very loose here, you know, it's not very firm and rigid, and that's fair. But what happens is you take your last shot, you open the cylinder, you know, eject, and then you come in with the speed loader, kind of line up the rounds. You turn. Now, if you don't touch the cylinder, it's going to turn forever, right? So you have to hold the cylinder in place. Then you turn the knob, and the rounds fall in, and then you can, re-engage combat. So a very simple system. Turn of the knob, like I said, it's a classic. It works, and nobody's seen a point to improve it. Now, when it comes to Safari Land, this is a different one, kind of more expensive too. My little brother showed me a much better way, because the instructions for this literally tell you, they give you a piece of cardboard, and you're supposed to flip it over and then press it down and turn it. But then my little brother figured out something better. He's like, just push up on the knob and turn it, and you get the exact same thing. So I don't know why maybe they changed it now, but back then that was the instructions. They literally gave you a piece of cardboard. You're supposed to flip it over and turn it, all this stuff. But little brother Natty just goes, nope, just keep it simple, stupid. So here it is. This is much more rigid, not as flex as the HKS. And you will kind of notice that when you, when you reload as well, is that they line up in the cylinder, in the charging holes, much more rigid. So this is very rigid. There's not a lot of room for flexibility, for movement. It seems like you have to, there's more tendency to get it right, and you better get it right. But here, there's no knob. You don't push on this knob. The outer parts right here, you push that in, because you see in the center, there's kind of that raised edge. You want that to push in, and it will drop all the rounds. So of course, this is what's pushing on that, right? That's going to push that in. And you push on the outer sides, and then the rounds just fall right in like that. Okay, so that is the two speed loaders that I used. You'll see it in the range footage, but I mean, some people might say one's better than the other. Honestly, I think they both work perfectly fine in ideal conditions. I think that the HKS, not being a little bit more loose with the rounds, means that it's not as demanding to be lined up perfectly, Whereas I think the Safari Land demands it to be lined up perfectly, or you might get some problems. But HKS is more fluid, it's more rigid, relaxed, so then it's not as specific, So I tend to lean more towards HKS, but I also grew up with this. So, these didn't come out until way later in the game, so, it's just me not being familiar with that. But that's a demo for you guys to decide if you are going to get a speed loader, which one. I think those are the two major ones that people usually go by. Now, during the range, I did buy an additional 50 rounds of ammunition, and the reason why was because I went through the 168 rounds super fast. I went through those rounds super fast with this gun, and it didn't really heat up too much. I think it was hot to be noticed, but not hot enough to burn you. So it really ate 168 rounds super easy, no problem. No failures to fire as well, let me tell you. None to fire. It was perfect. It ran well. So I bought 100 rounds of the range ammo when I was at the range, and it was Arms Core 158 grain 38 Special FMJ. Now I didn't pay attention at the time, but I think I was charged $76 for that for 100 rounds. That's 76 cents a round. I didn't think of it at the time because I wanted to get in my half-hour time limit. I just wanted to get back in the range. When I looked at it later, I was like, holy crap, 76 cents a round for 38 Special, and that's FMJ. This is not Super Match semi-wad cutter. This is not Critical Defense Hornady XTP, which is like $1.04. This is just FMJ. So I'm not sure why the range ammo is almost twice the price for one bullet than any other place. I mean, twice the price as in like, I'd say maybe 44 cents is what it should be for one 38 Special, especially one that's a FMJ, nothing special. So I don't know if there was a guy there, he was a young guy, very young guy actually. I think he's younger than me. And he was working there, so I never seen him before, he's new. Maybe he rang it up incorrectly because like maybe he just saw 38 Special and thought $38 rather than, like, oh, well, I don't know, 42 cents, 43 cents for 38 Special would not be $38 for 50 rounds, So I'm gonna have to check with them the next time I see them. That's a month from now. I shoot once a month. just to be like, hey, are you guys really charging 76 cents for one bullet of 38 special? That's FMJ, nothing special. If they say yes, okay. Okay, about me, I don't know about that, but okay, if you say so, you know. But I don't think anybody else in the world is selling it at that price. So if that's the case, that's a little sus. It's a little shady, and I'm disappointed. But I think it was a mistake. I think it was that young kid's mistake. So I'll keep you updated on that. But I was only able to get 50 rounds through in my half-hour time limit. So for the total rounds at the range, I put 218 rounds with this gun. And with the arms core, I think with it being FMJ, it recoiled a lot more than it did with the lead round nose. And it also had more failures to fire. I think, I don't know, you'll see in the range footage, I think every set, so 6 shots in the gun, I think every set had a failure to fire at least one time. So every set, so there'd be, let's see, 50 divided by 6, 8. So there's 8 sets, so I go through six string shots 8 times. Every string had one failure to fire, every one. One of the bullets was super stubborn. I had to hit it like 2 or 3 times to get that one to go off. So I don't know about that ammunition, but I would say that that ammo is not worth 76 cents a round. Let's just put it that way. Now, another thing I want to say too is that my trigger finger, I'll put the picture up here, is the skin just began to rip after 218 rounds, just barely. You know, so I thought that was pretty good for, you know, for 38 special, because remember the Diamondback DB9 ripped off my skin more than half in like 20 rounds. You know, it really tore it off. But here we're looking at 200 rounds, and then the skin's just starting to rip off. So here, you know, what I'm saying is that you get a lot of practice time with the gun. This is going to heal in no time. Okay, you can get another 200 rounds down the gun. So you become more proficient very quickly. You master it very quickly. You know, that's what I was talking about with the Diamondback DB9. If it's ripping off your skin after 20 rounds, how many times do you have to shoot to get up to that round count to become proficient with that weapon? May not be worth it. Now, I'll go ahead and show you guys the target. I didn't do anything special. It was just a regular body target. So here is the poor fellow right here. I'll put a screen up, close up for the image here for you guys in the video, but you'll see that pretty much that's 218 shots on target. I did get the feeling it was shooting a little high and maybe a little left, and maybe that can be verified here. That's up to you to decide, but that's where all the bullets went. Now the last 2 shots, I actually put it on his head. I put the bullets in his head, and you'll see a screenshot here. There's one bullet in the head, but I don't see where the other one went. So unless I'm Robin Hood, it went through the same hole, or I just completely went high and missed it. I honestly have no idea, but we're just gonna say I Robin Hood it and, you know, hit it in the same hole. Now for the range, during the entire time, I did focus on Gabby Franco talking about the focus shots. So basically she has a drill where when you take the shot, you're focused on the front sight. So under recoil, the gun comes back and you're focusing on the front sight again. I did practice that a lot more often, and it is very uncomfortable because, you know, I don't like not being sure where the bullet's going to go, but after 218 rounds, as you can see, it was pretty close to center. So even if it was off a little bit, it wasn't that big of a deal. I did try another one where she talked about double tap. So you're doing the same thing, focusing on the front sight, but double tap. I did that, maybe 1 or 2 strings of that. I didn't like that. I think I felt I was shooting too fast and I wasn't, you know, getting the shots that I wanted to. Maybe one day I'll get there, but that's kind of what I focused on for the range. I also kept both eyes open. I know that's something that I don't like to do. I'm someone that's left-handed, right-eyed, so I'm not even born correctly. Like you guys are probably right hand, right-eyed, left hand, left-eyed. I'm the opposite. I didn't like to do that, but I kept both eyes open. That's pretty good. Honestly, it was just a really good range session. I really enjoyed it. Probably the most fun I ever had besides a 22. So I think I'm definitely going to look at 38 Special as a fighting round. I always did, but I just never got the chance to shoot it until now. I thought the gun was too heavy for K-frame, but we all know how heavy L-frame is, so this honestly isn't that bad. You know, it's probably like any typical kind of firearm today, so it's really not any more weight. Next time I am going to go shoot the 5-shot, So it's a 5-shot 30 special charter arms undercover. It's the vintage, not the modern one, which I think is smaller than the modern one. So unless that one is terrible to shoot, then I'll probably just stick with the K-frame as a fighting gun. But if the J-frame, because the charter arms is similar to a J-frame, I'll show you that in that video. It's like literally the same size. If that one is no problem, then obviously that would be the carry gun that I would go with. So yes, wonderful experience at the range. Smith & Wesson Model 10-7, easily going to be a fighting defense gun. You know, I do have a holster for it, I just never carried it, but I mean, I'm definitely more likely to now that I've seen its performance. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, okay? You have a good day now. Goodbye.
Martial arts! Martial arts, go!